Good evening, our fellow lovers of love out there. Welcome back to Late Night Love, the show where the lights are low, the stories are real, and the truth hits a little harder after dark. I'm Jazz, she's Lovey, and tonight we're unpacking the emotional leftovers of the holiday season. The boundaries we didn't set, the feelings we didn't share, and the relationships that got a little more complicated than we expected. So settle in, take a breath, and let's get into it. But before we go look back a little bit, Lovey, we've got 2026 coming
Yes,
up
we
here right
do.
around the corner. And so, do you have any what's those things people do?
Resolutions?
There you go. That's the word I'm looking for that I can't
You,
find.
you mean lies?
Do you have any lies you're telling to yourself this year?
No.
No.
No, I gave that up quite a while ago. I set goals for myself during the year when things come up, that I want to do, that I should do, that I need to do, suggested that I do,
Yeah.
things like that. It comes up during the year and then I take them as they come. But no, I don't set myself up with lofty, unattainable goals that I'm just going to feel bad about in 6 weeks.
Well, I think that's the key. If you are gonna set some goal or some, make it philosophical or highly attainable, right?
Yeah.
Give it something that you can get a win. Make it something philosophical, like I'm just gonna work on being a better me. Yeah, that can mean anything. And as long as
Yeah.
you've worked on you being a better you, which you should be doing anyway,
Yeah.
but you really, let's say you slacked off on that in the last couple months and you say, I'm going to get back onto it and focus on whatever.
Yes.
That's a nice philosophical, lofty goal. There's, you're the only judge. There's no hard judgment. I'm going to lose 40 pounds. Well, yeah, but not going to happen, right? It's I could use it to lose 30 pounds, 35 pounds, but it's not going to happen. So why would I set myself up for that? Unless I get sick, which is the only way I lose.
You could start eating vegetables. You could go to the gym.
All that stuff is possible. Not very likely, but it's possible. I mean, it's not out of the realm of things that have happened before in the realm of human history, but I wouldn't bet money on it that way. I'd bet against it if you want.
Especially the vegetables part.
Yeah, that's a texture, and now it's a taste thing. It tastes like dirt, so there's that. Anyway.
Just put cheese on it.
Yeah, well, the one thing I do need to do this year is just take a better management of my finances, of our finances. That's just a...
Do you need help?
No, I just need to pay attention to it.
Okay.
There's a desire. There's the desire to not want to pay attention to it. It's not like there's any trouble or anything. It's just I should pay attention to it and manage it more. That's all it is. It's so I should actually do all those things that you're supposed to do that I don't.
Oh, I know what I did for the new year.
What's that?
I got a new address book.
Wait, like one with written and things in it?
Yeah.
Like you went back 30 years?
Huh?
You went backwards 30 years?
I always use a physical address book.
You have an iPhone 17 or whatever the latest
16 Pro.
16 Pro or whatever it is. And yet you're using it. Okay.
I prefer a physical address book.
Knock yourself out. Just remind me next time to buy you the bottom edge iPhone. There's no need to purchase. Which, of course, is not the next time because you're going to keep that thing.
What are you talking about? That camera has upped my existence.
I know, but I could have gotten you the same camera on a cheaper version. But even though there was a practical reason for getting, because you'll never need another phone. You won't let me buy you another phone for another 5 years. So
no.
Apple's going to force us to change that phone before you let me change it. So
absolutely.
So my thought process was, well, then if it's a 7-year phone, then just you buy the good one and you leave it as a 7-year phone, right?
Yeah,
it'll actually last 7 years.
I appreciate that mindset because I love my phone. I didn't want it in the beginning. It took me years. It took me 2 years of you asking me about a new phone?
I still just got you one. I still didn't even ask you about it. We just kind of went, you're getting one because this thing it's doesn't work right anymore. Stop it. So there is that. All right. So let's go ahead and get on into our regular show. All right. So we're going to start off with the everyday stuff, the things that don't seem huge on paper, but somehow take up all the space in your head. From partners policing your language to managers crossing lines to the annual disappointment of no Christmas bonus. So let's get started here tonight. What's we starting off with tonight, love?
Well, we're gonna start with a personal question
Okay.
From this young lady.
Okay.
Her boyfriend wants her to stop speaking Korean with her close friends. She says, I can't help but see him differently now.
Well, this is going to depend on circumstances. Is he asking you to not speak Korean with them when you guys are hanging out, with your friends by themselves? Or is it, when you guys are sitting there having dinner and you guys are speaking in Korean and he's sitting out there as the third wheel? That, those are two different circumstances, two completely different things, right? You should be a bit more respect. If you're sitting at the table or you're out having with your friends, you guys should be a little more. I'm not saying you always can't never speak in Korean, but you should be a little more polite and not have entire conversations in a language that somebody else can't understand.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if he's asking you to never speak Korean to anybody, even if he's not there, he's being ridiculous, and go find yourself another person, because that's just, you can't cope for whatever reason. But if he's saying, look, I'm just feeling left out, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and getting a third rate translation, oh, we just, you don't know. So just,
I agree. I've been in this situation before,
Now there's sometimes, if you're in a different country or a different culture, or if you're visiting some house where they speak mainly a different language, you're going to have to accept that you're going to be out there uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if everybody grew up in the United States and they all know how to speak English fluently, and they just slip into Korean because habit, easy, or worst of all, you're discussing something that you wouldn't otherwise discuss. So, have a little empathy for, someone who's being made a third wheel when he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And again, it really depends on circumstances. If you guys are having a personal conversation across the room and you're speaking in Korean and he wants you to change, he's being unreasonable. But if you're all there engaging in conversation in a group type thing, speak in a way that everybody can understand is my suggestion.
But if he's saying you can't speak Korean, what is that?
Yeah, I suspect it's more of the intimate situation, and how people are when you're friends. You drop in and you just kind of, because you're really speaking to each other, and so you forget that the other people. It's quasi rude.
It is.
I wouldn't call it all the way rude.
People are always afraid you're talking about them,
even if you're not. And how they're supposed to know.
Yeah.
It's quasi rude. I won't call it rude, but it's quasi rude because it's not intentional, right? If it was intentional, I'd call it rude.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it's just we slip into it as habit,
right?
Which is fine, but have some empathy for the person who's feeling like a third wheel, feeling left out, sitting there going,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay. My wife has to work every Saturday because her coworker's religion won't allow him to work on Saturday. Now, this guy is skeptical.
Yeah. I am trying to think of a religion that doesn't allow you to work on Saturdays, but it doesn't really matter. Shifts are what shifts are.
Yeah.
If you work on Saturdays, generally speaking, like I work on Saturdays, but I get Sundays and Mondays off.
You get compensated.
Yeah. So that's the.
Yeah.
I still get my 2 days off. I still get them in a row. So is it the Saturdays, or is that she's not getting, 2 days off consecutively, which
No,
which
he
is a
just
grind?
wants to have his day off and her day off on the same day.
I don't think it's Sundays.
I don't know.
Well, my point is sometimes this is just life's like that sometimes, right? And you just have to deal with it for a while until life changes, and it will.
Well,
Because
yeah.
yeah, are they youngish?
No.
So I don't know. Lots of people can't work on Saturdays for lots of reasons, right?
Yeah.
Maybe their spouse works on that day and they have to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their day taking care of their, elderly parents. Who knows? It's not really important. Just your wife works on Saturdays. That's her day.
Yeah.
Make Sundays very special would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is staying at a job for less than a year going to be a problem when applying? He's had like 4 jobs in 3 years.
Well, it kind of depends on the reason. If you can explain each one,
Uh-huh.
if you've just been allowed and been fired from each job that fast, suggestion, don't put them on there. You don't have to put your employment history on here. If they're not good, you can explain the exit. Just explain the gap. But these days, it's less of a big deal than it was because you could just bad luck, right? You get a job somewhere, and then layoffs come. Last hired, first fired, and so you go off, you find something again, and the place is hiring is the place who's happens to have layoffs coming, and so you get laid off again. It happens.
Mhm.
There's some people who just have bad luck, especially if you're relatively young and you're the first. Whenever there's an economic hit, and there's been lots recently,
Yeah.
you're the one who's going to take it, and so it's not a big deal as long as you weren't your work ethic or honest integrity wasn't the issue. If your work ethic or your work integrity was the issue, the only way to deal with that is to change that.
Well, that's his question.
That's the question. I, I have no problems believing one or the other. This is the
Yeah.
thing. I've known people who are for no fault of their own, for just the world had it out for them that year or something, that period of time or whatever. It happens. Every job they stumbled into ended up going to crap for one oddball reason or another. Bad management decisions, got bought out, and they closed that warehouse. And just every time you get a decent job, something yanks it out under the rug. The job you get's across town, your transmission locks up, you don't have the money for it, so you lose your job. These are things that can happen to people. And if you're on the low end of the economic ladder, when these things happen, they're more catastrophic than they are when you're not, or when you have access to people who are not. So I have if it's no fault of your own, it's not a problem. You just explain it, and people will, be attracted by your resilience. If it's a fault of your own, then you're going to have to explain how you've grown and matured through that period. It's the only way to do it. But you're actually going to have grown and matured and learned from those things. And maybe it's a combination thereof. Maybe it's a little bit of both, right? Maybe you were allowed at one, some bad luck, crashed a company car, you get fired. These things happen. So is it going to be a problem? It depends. But problems you're defined by how you deal with your problems, not the problems you have. I got fired because I crashed a company car twice. Surprised he kept me on until the second one, to be honest. I didn't get laid off when I destroyed 6 pumps in a silver mine. It wasn't entirely my fault. I'm just the one who signed the paper, so it's my responsibility. So I'm the one who did it. I got,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't chose not to fire me because it wasn't really my fault. You know, we followed procedure. They didn't. It was realistically their fault, but I signed off on it. Bad luck.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just run into bad luck,
Yeah.
right? It's a hot, muggy day. You clean out a hose before you ship it. What normally would have cleaned out a hose didn't clean out a hose this time. You know, the people at their mine are so used to their stuff coming clean. They're supposed to clean it. They didn't because they're used to it coming clean. They install it. Every single one had a problem somehow. And 6 pumps get destroyed. Six $10,000 pumps get destroyed, which is not the most expensive thing that happens because of that.
Yeah.
Because now you have to wait how long for 6 pumps to get shipped to you and reinstalled and tested before the mine can start operating again? A silver mine? The pumps were the least expensive thing in that whole operation. It was the time the mine was down, is what is the real expense.
Yeah.
That's what the insurance companies didn't like. So, so people ask me why I don't like insurance companies because y'all didn't have to go through that. Okay. What's next?
My boyfriend of 5 years is increasingly self-centered. How do I handle? Sounds like an alcoholic, man.
Well, it could be. It could be guys are starting to grow apart, and the relationship has run its course. And so when that happens, people tend to look inwards, right?
Yeah.
Start focusing on themselves. Could be a thing people go through. Midlife crises, so to speak. Could be dealing with stress. People deal with stress in lots of different ways. Many of them not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
To themselves or to those around them. So it could be lots of things. And without knowing what it is, it's hard to, deal with how you handle it. But the thing is, you have to handle it. And I would start with the empathetic, compassionate way. Hey, you've been a little distant recently. I'm concerned for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you extra stressed? Is there something we can do to help? And he'll say no the first time, regardless of whether he is or not, just because it's the way we are. Ask again next week.
Mm-hmm.
He'll crack if that's what it is. One or the other, or he'll give you a signal that the relationship is run its course. This is a boyfriend, not a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So good luck, but as always, try compassion, empathy, and try to help instead of attack. It's always the best option. Okay.
Okay. Now, this guy. Leadership assessment program that I was asked to do, even though I don't want to move up. What should I expect at a leadership assessment course?
Well, it's the problem is they could be anything. And here's the thing. Just do your thing. Don't worry about it. If you don't want to move up, you have no desire to move up, then the end results of this thing are not relevant. The problem is you don't want to do too poorly. Because then you get marked for an exit.
Yeah.
So, what you want to do is go in there and play with house money. You get to be yourself. You don't have to worry about the results. You just get to answer these things how you honestly would. It's actually a wonderfully freeing experience. And you may learn something about yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want leadership roles because you're afraid of success. You don't want the added stress. You don't want the added responsibility. That's understandable. But at some point in your life, you will want the added responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You will want to shoulder a burden bigger than you. And maybe someone believes in you a little more than you do.
Mm.
Just maybe. It's possible. So go through the program. If nothing else, you've learned something, either about yourself or about leadership programs. You know, so you play with house money because you don't care about the results, right? Just go. Have a good time. Don't brush it off. Don't be stupid with it. You get to take it seriously, but you don't have to worry about it like everybody else there who's climbing on their careers and Uber networking and stressed out over the whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like Bob, you get Bob's number. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to worry. You're not concerned about any of that other stuff. You get to be free. You don't have to, plan your answers to whatever it is they're doing. You just get to have your answers what they are.
Yeah.
It's almost like that thing at Office Space, if you guys remember the movie.
Yeah.
Where the guy walked into his meeting and he just laid all the crap out. And the people were impressed with his confidence and all that kind of stuff. What? You're willing to tell us all this stuff? What? Yeah. Yeah. It's a little exaggerated, but it's sadly close enough to truth where it resonates with people.
Yeah.
You can be confident as long as you show some kind of confidence and competence. People will follow you. And maybe you're more competent than you think. So go through the thing, learn something about yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Should I report my manager for picking me up? He's a choker. He says things like, "Oh, yeah, you got a very chokeable neck." Yes, report him.
Yeah, especially if it's your manager. I mean, like trying to pick up on you and things like that.
Yeah.
For hitting on her and whatnot. Yeah, you report him because especially you tell them, no, I'm not interested the one time. I think the HR rule is the people get one time, even though he's your manager, he probably doesn't get any. But coworkers, as one person's clear, no, I'm not interested in you. Okay, cool. See you later, and you never say anything about it again, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the generic rule. But managers, no. One, and here's the thing: HR is there to protect the company. In this particular case, protecting you is protecting the company.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if it's a big company, report it to HR. If it's a smaller company, you report it to the highest person you have direct contact with.
Yeah.
If you can contact the owner, you talk to the owner.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have contact with the owner. You can actually go knock on the owner's door. Hey, I got a problem. Can I talk to you? They let you in and you have a conversation. None of these conversations are easy, right? So let's not pretend that they are.
Yeah.
And, there's no way you can not have, we talked about this last week, there's some conversations, there's no way you can avoid the uncomfortable conversations. You just have to live through the horror.
And you do. You will not die.
It's just a conversation in the end of the day. It's just stuff nobody wants to talk about because why would you?
Yeah.
It's perfectly reasonable to not want to talk about this kind of nonsense. You shouldn't have to talk about this kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to deal with this every day. And so if you don't want to deal with this every day, you got to have to deal with it at least once and then let other people deal with it. That's what the other people are there for, to protect their company from future lawsuits. And they are staring a future lawsuit in the face.
Yeah.
And make sure you get everything documented. All right.
Okay. Last question. No Christmas bonus. And he's resentful.
Well, why were you expecting a Christmas bonus?
Because they had one. They always get one.
Well, no, you get one when the company is doing well enough to give them. Some years you get Christmas bonuses, other years you don't.
Yeah.
Because there's too much uncertainty. Yeah. Or cash flow problems or a host of other reasons. Sometimes we just laid 5,000 people off. It's not good look to give anybody bonuses. As long as they're not giving the higher ups bonuses, then it's fine. If the higher ups are taking big bonuses and shorting out everybody else's on their bonus, my thing about bonuses is don't expect them. They're called bonuses for a reason. They become nice to have.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get bonuses for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's a year-end bonus. We've done well. Everybody's worked hard. Here you go. Hey, we saved some money on payroll this year. Everybody gets a share of what's left over. Congratulations. You know, I've known companies who've done that. Sometimes everybody gets $1,000. Sometimes everybody gets $1.50. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because that's the pool they have to work from. And so if we all do a good job and get all of our work done and and under our times, we all get to split what's left over. Yeah, sometimes some years were better than others. It's just the way it works. But we didn't care because anything was it was a bonus, right? Hey, we weren't expecting it. So don't expect a bonus, and then you'll just be pleasantly surprised when you win and if you get one. Now, here's the thing. If they usually giving you a bonus and you didn't get one this year and you didn't have, like, say, a change of ownership or something, start brushing up on your resume and things because it means they're having cash flow issues. They're not certain of the future, so they are being careful with their expenditures. So just put that in the back of your brain and just it's a warning sign.
Yeah.
Doesn't, maybe they work through the storms. Maybe it's not a problem long term, but be prepared.
Just in case.
That's it. And that's life, a mix of unfair expectations, awkward power dynamics, and the occasional leadership course you never asked for. So, like, comment, subscribe. Your support helps the show grow and reach more people who need a little late night clarity. This is going to be a fun one. Late night clarity from me and Lubby. Have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
I actually do need to do something.
What?
I'm starting to get nasally. What the heck is up with that? That's fine. Okay. Oh. I am back. Are you ready?
Yes.
Which one of those say intro? Okay. What are those? There we go. And welcome back to Late Night Love. Let's talk love, the kind that stretches you, and sometimes makes you question your own emotional stamina. Whether it's sharing feelings with a defensive partner, navigating blended family holiday chaos, or helping a child carry a secret they're not ready to share. This is where things get tender. But before we get into all that, let's do the things I forgot to do completely last segment. And please remember, you can like, subscribe. Oh, good Lord. Subscribe, share, do all of that fun stuff for us. You can find us at latenightLove.us, and you can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to hear us, Lubby, at love@latenightLove.us, and do the comment thing because Lubby is answering most of them.
Yes.
Even though I think there is one I got to answer. I saw one pop up.
Ooh.
That I got to answer.
Okay.
I think that one's probably for me. But we'll see. Check it out. All right.
All right. How do I share my feelings with my boyfriend? He always gets defensive. When you do this, I feel like this. And and then he gets defensive.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to reframe this so he's solving your problem and not you're coming at him with. Well, because remember they're 20, right?
Yeah.
So he's a 20-year-old. He's not secure in himself yet. So anything, it's not an attack on his manhood. It's just an attack on his hood, his personhood. He doesn't know who he is yet. So anything that feels like an attack is very personal.
Uh,
He's not old enough yet to kind of separate the various aspects of what makes you you.
yeah.
And so you work with his natural instincts. He wants to men like to solve problems, for the people they care about. So you make it your problem, not his, and he can solve it. And then don't give him the solution. Let him work to the solution. So give him the problem, but do not give him the solution.
Uh,
Let him figure out the solution. And he may have to try a couple different things before he comes up with it. Be patient. He's 20. He's stupid. He doesn't have the experience yet to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
So a little patience, just like you need some at
20.
at 20. You both need a little patience for each other at 20. This is how relationships make it to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Is the practice of patience. So my suggestion is to make it your problem for him to solve. Even walk up and frame it. Hey, I got a problem if you can help me solve it. Now you framed it before you've even said anything as your problem that he can help you solve. When this happens, I get weirded out and react irrationally. I don't know what to do about it. See, now he's not feeling attacked. Now he's thinking, "Oh, it's her problem. Oh, well, I don't have to react like that. I can work on that. I can figure that out." And he'll find a different way to react. Might take him a while. So give him a while to give him a little bit. But reframe the discussion. Theoretically, should you have to? No, but at 20, it's the way it works. And then over time, you're not going to need to. Over time, you'll both learn to have a neutral conversation, right? Where you're not going to have to walk on eggs. Right? But trust me, there's things that he has to feel like he's walking on eggs to have a conversation with you too, because he's unsure of how you're going to react. Because one day you'll react one way, and tomorrow you react a different way. It's the same thing. I don't understand. Yeah, but it's a different day. So. Sorry. We all carry a burden, is my point.
Yeah.
And our partners, our life partners, part of being a life partner is carrying that burden with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not always at our best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being a life partner means you don't necessarily accept it, but you kind of do. You kind of do.
You don't have to like it.
No.
But it's part of your life.
And you go, well, he accept my silly nonsense stuff, so I'm going to shut up.
That's the one that gets me every single time. Because I got some issues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I get grace, so I dang well better give some.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, give a little grace, you get a little grace. And if you don't, that's when things are unbalanced. And that's when you have to. This defensive thing, it's just a minute 20s. It's a 20-year-old man.
Yeah.
He's feeling attacked.
Yeah.
And so to have a productive conversation, you flip it around.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, driving here and there and all around during freaking Christmas.
Yes.
He just joined a blended family and huge. And there's like 6 different people, 3 sets of
Yeah.
different sets of grandparents, and his family didn't do that.
Yeah.
Not on Christmas.
Yeah.
Everybody stayed home on Christmas.
And
They do it differently.
imagine that. Different families do different things differently. Now, here's the thing. There should come to a point where after you've spent a few years experiencing this type of Christmas where your spouse, your partner, should experience your type of Christmas.
Yeah. Switch off.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You may find you enjoy it, especially
it's delightful. It's magical chaos. It really is.
but it can also be a lot for some people. And so, maybe you don't, and maybe the long-term answer is you don't make 3 trips, you make 2, because 1 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon or 1 on Christmas Eve and 1 for dinner, whatever the breakdown is, you find a healthy compromise. Maybe every other year you do, 2 of this, and then the next year you do, half a quiet and a quiet breakfast with lunch.
Mhm.
Who knows what the end result will be, but you get the opportunity to set your own traditions. But I applaud you for being willing to experience the chaos that massively blended families and where you run around all of Christmas Day and drive yourselves crazy and you go, why do I do this at the end of the day? Because you're just flipping exhausted. And then they all look forward to it again next year.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean you will, but I applaud you for jumping in with both feet and giving it the good old effort. Can you be asked for more? To actually give it a good old fashioned effort, and I don't think you can ask for more.
Yeah.
So congratulations on giving it a try. Try some modifications. This is, you guys get to decide your own, but you tried theirs. Now she gets to try yours, and then from that, you guys choose something of your own. A little bit of both, I suspect, is the answer to that.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little compromise. Maybe you do the full bore Christmas thing, but Thanksgiving you do for yourselves, or these are the things, relationships.
Or you have a morning at home, and then the rest of the day and evening is with family.
Or maybe she really cares about this one particular thing. She does it by herself.
Yeah.
Some years.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have to be attached at the hip, even on Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're going off to, he's getting ready for our Christmas dinner. It's, he's doing his thing. It's perfectly reasonable. Don't let other people judge you into how you solve your Christmas dilemma, your holiday, Christmas, New Year's dilemma.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it, whatever your solution is.
Yeah.
But I do applaud them for trying each other's. Now do the other one. Try the other one. Give what, he was willing to give the one thing, so you give the other. Much as it's going to pain you, have the nice, quiet Christmas at home. It's going to pain her. We know who's that's why I'm using her and him as
no, you got it right.
As if I knew. I didn't. I was just, it was a bold assumption, apparently. I wasn't even thinking about. But yeah. But try a quiet one and then find the compromise. Would my suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
All right, we're right there.
My son told me he is gay. He's 12, and he wants it to be a secret.
Well, then he gets to deal with this as he chooses.
Yes, he does. Yeah, got to respect that.
Yeah, so let him deal with it. And at 12, he probably is, but maybe not.
You
Maybe he's
know,
dealing with the puberty thing, and he found himself attracted at the Playgirl just as much at the Playgirl magazine as he did at the Playboy magazine. So now he's,
he
you know,
he thinks he's gay.
maybe he is.
Maybe he is. We don't know. This is his journey.
Let him work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in many sense, if you've got any inclination these days, you're considered, other than normal. Well, just let him be. He's trusting you with something, and you get an opportunity to not fail him.
Yeah.
So he's going through it, and you're there for him. So that's really congratulations. He was willing to discuss this difficult issue with you.
Yeah. You're the first one he told.
At 12, and he's willing to trust you with his secrets. So
Yeah.
unless there is a immediate emergency, need, safety need to violate his secret, you do not violate his secret.
Yeah. No.
No, you guard that thing with your life. Okay, not because he's gay, it's because he wants it that way.
Because he wants it. He's your son.
Yeah.
He's trusting you with a secret.
There's nothing wrong with being gay. There's no reason for him to keep it a secret. But if that's how he wants to deal with it right now, then he's the one who gets to make that choice.
He's just not ready to come out full bore.
Maybe he's not exactly sure. So he's trying to wear it on. Maybe he's trying to figure out how you're going to react. So regardless, whatever he's trying to do, let him work through it.
Let him do it.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any families not doing extracurriculars?
There are lots of families not doing extracurriculars,
Yeah.
especially the ones that can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, here's the thing about, what you call extracurriculars. Back in the olden days, God, I'm starting to reach that age. Back in the olden days, there was very few people who engaged in organized after-school youth activities.
Yeah.
Your after-school youth activities was in the empty field across the lot throwing dirt clods at each other, right? That was your after-school activity. And the people who could hit you while you were moving were the ones who played baseball later on, right? This is how these things were worked out. So, I don't know. It's important for kids to get to experience a wide range of life, get to experience many different things and get to try on different things and see what they like. I think many of these highly organized extracurricular activities actually do the opposite. They funnel them into narrow channels of activities rather than broadening the things, the opportunities for them to explore. How do we solve that? Don't know. I'm just not going to pretend I do. I'm just saying it's a conundrum, right? Over regulation of our children's activities, too many activities, too regulated, where they've got to be practiced at this and they don't have a chance to be kids, which when you look back in history, there's really only been a short period of time where kids got to be kids. Kids were thrown out as adults at 12, 13 years old, right? Not that long ago, 200 years ago.
Yeah. That's it. You're getting married.
Yeah.
I found you a husband.
And if not, they were working in the fields. There was, or they were sent to work in the factories. And this is up until the early 1900s. 100 years, realistically. Kids have not. It's been less than 100 years where kids have been allowed to be kids, and we're already regimenting it out of them. I think it's a little sad. Do I know what to do about it? No, I do not. I just do not. But there are lots of families who don't engage in extracurriculars. Probably some because they can't afford it. Some because they can't manage the complexity of managing all the schedules. Some because they're afraid to participate because they can't be there every day like some of these other parents can. And so they'd rather not participate in all than have their child not participate and then look like a lesser parent.
Yeah.
When the fact is that, the best that parent can do is make sure they get there. Sorry, I got a double shift at the nurse. She's working a double shift at the hospital. Dad's driving a truck, and grandma's the one who's dropping him off, and Aunt Jackie's the one who's picking him up after practice. The kid is lucky he's got a group of people who love him that much to do it, but they can't show up at every game.
Yeah.
Because they can't. And so they don't get to participate because they're afraid of not not keeping up with the Joneses. And it's sad that has leached into our extracurricular activities. It used to be a place where kids could go when their parents were too busy.
Yeah.
And now it's a thing where if your parents can't show up at every game, you're somehow a lesser parent. Anyway, before I go on a rant, okay.
So before?
I was just getting warmed up. All right. So, what's next?
Oh, here is, the age-old quandary. How do you end a relationship when there's events and things entwined? There's his birthday and the summer vacation is booked.
Well, if you know you want it to end, the best thing you can do is end it now. Because
take the loss.
Because you're just going through the motions, and isn't that worse?
That's just not okay.
It's just worse.
He thinks he's in a relationship, and you're just, want to spend your money wisely.
No, she's afraid of having this is the thing we talked about at the very beginning of the show. Is we talked about there's no way to avoid uncomfortable conversations. She's looking for excuses to avoid the uncomfortable conversation of, this is no longer working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so she's looking for reasons to, not do it. Well, the birthday's coming up, and then we've got the holiday vacation is already booked. Well, then someone's going by themselves.
Yeah. Taking a friend.
yeah, or selling it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can get most of it back, but just have to, $200 booking fee or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
You lose, who knows? Life's like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is to have to go through all of that and fake it.
Yeah.
You really want to go on a summer vacation faking it? Oh,
how do you do that?
How thrilling that one's going to be. Yeah. so no, it's the kind, compassionate thing to do is to end it at the earliest, reasonable time. If his grandmother's funeral's this weekend, you wait a week. You wait. You don't kick him when he's down. You end it the weekend after. Just because, right?
Yeah,
you do. But if you were going to end it, and then they got a cancer diagnosis the next day, you can't stick all the way through cancer treatments. So you're going to have the uncomfortable thing that this is just really crappy timing, but and you're going to feel like
a pariah.
You're not going to feel good about yourself, but you do it. But in the long term, you're doing everybody a favor.
You really are. You can't fake it.
You're
can't fake it, man. Come on.
You're doing everybody, and you're gonna you're gonna feel terrible about yourself. But but it's one of those times where you take one for the team because long term, you're all going to be better off.
Yes.
Okay, what's next?
My 4-year-old is either 0 or 100% socially, hoping to find a middle ground. He's 4.
Well, he's 4, but my guess is that's kind of his personality. They're probably correct.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. They are either, what they have is a social battery.
Yeah.
And because they're 4, it's, very wild swings. The swings will moderate somewhat, but the social battery will not. and they will always have a social battery.
Oh,
And,
dude, this is me. So totally me.
and they can even be an extrovert. They can be a natural extrovert, but have a social battery that runs out.
Yeah.
You know? And so those two things are not necessarily exclusive. You know, they're not mutually exclusive. You can be an extrovert and have a relatively small social battery. You can be an introvert and have a large social battery. These things, life is weird. So, so what you can do though is help them as they age to learn how to moderate and manage that social battery. Hey, you can teach them to notice when their social battery is getting low and I hate the word, but engage in self-care.
Yeah.
And make sure it doesn't get too low or it becomes depression or these things so they can become more self-aware of themselves. And same thing goes on the other end, that it's almost becomes a manic, right, thing where you could help them notice and manage that. Hey, when you get all this manic kind of thing, you're kind of a dick. So stop it. You're rude, I'm polite, which can happen. They don't realize they're being rude and impolite because, they got, main player character syndrome, all the world's their stage. And they don't realize that they're being rude. So you can tamp that back a little bit. But that's really what you can do is you can just help them be aware over time. But they're 4. Don't overly worry about it.
Yeah.
But, notice that they are going to have that social battery and you can help them learn how to manage that. Okay.
Okay, last question. Okay, his daughter was home from college, and he was folding her. No, it was a male. I'm sorry. He was doing his son's laundry, and he saw a T-shirt that says "Daddy is a corporate sellout," and he's standing there thinking, "Just where do you think your college tuition is coming from?"
I know this is so classic, right?
It really is. This is almost cliche.
This is almost cliche. It is cliche. Here's what happened. For whatever reason, good or bad, your child has some feeling of neglect, and he blames that on the fact that you're out chasing your corporate career and corporate job and not giving him the attention he feels he deserves. Whether he got the attention, he may have gotten all the attention and more than he needed, right?
Yes.
So just his perception of reality does not necessarily make reality make. So, but that's what it is. And so he's blaming the world. He's blaming that for his feelings. It's universal. It's been that way since time immemorial. So, but part of this is we're sending our kids to these colleges, that they quite literally have a bunch of Marxist professors. And so they're getting taught Marxism and communism and by extension, anti-corporatism, anti-capitalism in our own universities, which are paid for and funded by the excessive capitalism that the United States exists in.
Yeah.
And it does make you kind of want to smash your head on the table. Like none of these people would have a jobs if it wasn't for this massive spending capitalism, corporatism thing we have going on. We wouldn't have the money to give these people to sit in college and teach about, all these goofy. The only reason we can do that is because we have excess production, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And we can pay people to go to college and, and take and give college courses on whatever theory you want. Gender theory, queer theory, communist theory. We literally still teaching communism in our course, quite literally in our universities.
Scary.
It's not that we're teaching communism. It's one thing to teach that communism has existed and get people to understand it, and why it was thought to be a valid political viewpoint.
It was at the time.
You know why it fails. You know all the various issues with it, good, bad, and indifferent. You know, I'm perfectly fine. We all better off if everybody learns more about actual.
Sure.
But that's not what's happening.
And also about democratic socialism,
Yeah, which is the same thing.
which is communism.
It's all communism wrapped up in a different wrapping paper.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, it's all the same thing with different propaganda. But we've gone kind of off the rails. So what do you do about it is the question, right? Well, there are two things you could do about it. The instinct is to cut off his credit cards, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're not happy with it, then here. The other thing, though, is maybe to let him work through it. Who knows? He may be trying to impress a girl or boy, depending upon. Yeah, he may just be fitting in with the group because that's what everybody's doing. You know, who knows how much he's actually buying. He could be role playing, cosplaying, right? Essentially, just going along to get along. And once he's out of college and has to get a real job, and he's perfectly rational, normal human being. He would not be the first person in college to do that, right?
Gone through that long process.
They're just getting through college, right? They don't care. They're going to say whatever they do. And a lot of these, especially kids these days, they know how to do it. They'll say whatever needs to be said for the least possible, friction through life. And there's a skill to that, I suppose. And sometimes it's wearing goofy t-shirts. So I don't know. I would resist the urge to overreact, but I don't know how much I could resist the urge to react at all.
Yeah. I would have to say something. Seriously?
I don't know. I would have to sit on that for a bit to figure out what I would do. I wouldn't react immediately. I this is one of these things though. But if he's out engaging in, say, some of these anti-capitalist protests and gets himself arrested or something, I'm not helping him out. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to live your morality there. Don't come masking this corporate sellout to bail you out. Next time he needs beer money, probably shouldn't come crawling to you. I would suspect, but I wouldn't mess with his normal education budget. I would resist the urge.
Resist it.
To
Don't
do that.
It. No.
But the extra beer money and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see. Sorry, I didn't know you'd want some extra money from the corporate. You really want the proceeds from the corporate sellout? It's not going to improve his attitude towards you, by the way. But nothing's going to. So
nothing will. Make your point.
Nothing will until his first paycheck, where he gets the whole huge chunk of it taken out by taxes. Then he'll somehow still complain, blame capitalists or something, but at least outwardly, but inwardly he'll start to change. That's how it usually happens.
Wait till he gets a family. There we go.
No, there's just as many wackos like that who've got a family. This is one of those things you
yeah, but when you have a family, you do things you never thought you would do.
Well, this is true.
Talk about being a sellout. That's where it comes from. You do it for your family.
I know, but still,
put food on the table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a sellout is somebody else's. When somebody else doesn't live up to somebody else's what they want you to do, not what they're going to do. So,
okay.
anyway, love is beautiful, exhausting, and occasionally wrapped in a sarcastic t-shirt from your college-aged kid. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that good fun stuff. Your support helps the show grow and reach more people who need a little bit of late night clarity. From me and Lovey, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
Oops. Oi. All right, hold on. Didn't even work all the way. Jesus.
Ugh.
All right. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love, and now we are heading into the gray zone, the unspoken crushes, the mismatched expectations, the insecurities, the TikTok myths, and the intimate questions people only ask at 2 a.m. This is relationships. By the way, I'm Jazz. She's Lovey. You can find us at latenightlove.us, and you can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. As always, clearly. All right, let me see. What am I doing here? Okay. All right.
All right. I have feelings for one of my best friends. I'm not sure she has feelings for me, but do you think it's possible it's not one sided? Okay, I read this.
Uh-huh.
She does his laundry sometimes, she cooks for him. There's little touches. She buys him great gifts for Christmas and everything. And she knows they're best friends. She talks to him every day. Yeah, I don't know what more he wants.
Well, okay. Why can't she use her words? I'm gonna completely agree. He's probably missing signs because hey, you're with one of these people, right?
Yes.
You know how this goes.
I had to actually say to you, I think I'm falling in love with you.
See, clear signs. My God, how hard is that? For the love of
Because you weren't saying it.
yeah.
I knew you. I thought you were, but
Yeah.
there's always that little. Oh my God! What if he laughs? You know. But I was stepping out of the shower, so I don't really think.
No, there's that.
I was thinking that maybe we'd gone that far. I was thinking you were kind of into me.
Well, there's that. That works.
So I took the shot.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We're back to the actual question at hand here. Yes, it's entirely possible. It's more than one-sided, especially considering all the details. But one of you is going to have to take the risk, and it's in your plate, my friend, because she's probably gone as far as her temperament will allow. For whatever reason, she has put herself out there as much as she can reasonably do.
She feels she's being very clear.
Or she's afraid to break she's afraid of breaking the same barrier he is.
No, she's afraid she's going to lose a friend.
She doesn't want to she doesn't want to lose what she has.
Yeah.
Because on the same thing as, what if he's not interested?
Yeah.
What if it's not one-sided? I'd rather
have this than nothing.
than this than nothing, because at least this is something.
Yes.
At least I have a quasi companion.
Yeah.
And when you have no companion, a quasi companion is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Take a risk is my suggestion, but take it carefully, because if you take the risk carefully, then you don't actually you have a lesser chance of losing the friendship. So, approach with the caution that you approach this. Hey, I have feelings for you, but I'm not sure if you have feelings for me the same way, and I don't want to lose our friendship. So I'm going to have this awkward conversation. And then she's going to laugh one way or the other, which is a great way. Because now you've lightened the thing. You've actually been completely ass honest with leaving it at a thing where it's lighthearted enough that no matter what the answer is.
Yeah. Okay, I drifted. I was on the next question. What was it?
What?
Should he say?
The exact answer is you just tell her this. I think I have feelings for you, but I'm not sure if it has feelings for me. And I don't want to, so I'm going to sit there. I don't want to lose this friendship. So I'm going to sit there and have this goofy, awkward conversation with you. And she's going to laugh because you're being awkward and goofy, and which women like for some reason.
We do. We think it's cute.
You guys like the awkward and goofy, so surrender to it. And now whether it's no, we're just friends and all this stuff, right? She's going to be able to laugh because you presented it in a way that is disarming. And if she is attracted to you, she's going to find it cute that you've finally broken down this barrier where she's obviously been trying to lead you on and you just won't follow. And she's going to be relieved. So either way, you've left it open to an easy end, an easy transition to the next stage, right? Because it can either end with a laugh, an awkward conversation, awkward laugh, because you've left that open.
Yes.
Or it proceeds, forward with a nice little joke. So just be blunt and say, so I'm going to have this awkward conversation instead. Instead of wondering, I'm going to have this awkward conversation instead. Leave that as the final thing, final part. Be blunt, even including the part that this is an awkward conversation. They will laugh at the fact that you're leaving it as an awkward conversation because it's funny. Hey, we've been spending all this time together. I think I kind of like you. I'm not sure if it's one way, so I decided we're going to have this awkward conversation instead. See?
It's so cute.
Exactly. If she likes you, you're going to get that.
So now we feel empathy. You presented us with an emotion and we are empathetic.
All I'm saying is, regardless of what the answer is going to be, it's going to be okay because you presented it in a way that there's no conflict. It's just awkward. And we can all surrender to awkward. We've all been there.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay. Am I the bad one for not liking my boyfriend's present for me? He bought her a silver ring. She says, I only wear gold.
Yes, you are being the bad one.
Yeah. That's it?
Yeah. Am I the asshole question? Yes, you're the asshole. Sorry to break it to you. I get it. You're 24. Yeah, but we sit there and we tell people that it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. It's the fact that you care and are concerned about me and that you want to buy things and then you complain because it's the wrong color. Go take a hike. And what's going to happen is you're not going to get anything because
do not mention this to your boyfriend. Don't mention it to anyone to where I could get back to him. This is not good.
I mean, now there is a thing here, man, to learn a lesson from. if you're going to buy your partner jewelry, something I suggest you don't. I suggest you pay for jewelry. You do not buy it for them. Just would be my suggestion. You give them a coupon for the jewelry store. You do not go and buy. I know it's not nearly as romantic, but it's much more practical. But if you are going to buy them jewelry, make sure you understand at least the generic type they like. Do they prefer gold or silver? Maybe they've got an allergy, so they have to wear sterling silver. Maybe they like big hoop earrings versus small earrings that are hard to see. Do they like bracelets or necklaces? Figure that stuff out.
You know what?
Yeah.
I will forever be grateful you let me pick out my engagement ring.
I am practical to a fault.
I do not consider it unromantic. I consider it one of the most thoughtful things you've ever done for me.
I'm practical. I can't take much credit for that. I am practical to a fault. It just makes sense. Sorry. But that's why you love me, because I do goofy things for goofy reasons, but they're my own.
They always make sense if you think about it.
Yeah, well,
but they're unusual.
I get to things in unusual ways. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But unusual things happen to me, so.
And I thought you were lying.
I was not.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't even exaggerating.
No, you weren't. Several times a year, something wacky.
Only to me.
And if there's a government hole you can fall into, you will fall into it.
I will make one. Okay. What is that?
My boyfriend is terrified of me gaining weight. She, over Christmas and Thanksgiving, she, like everybody else, she indulged and she gained about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And she told him, and he panicked, and he's like, "Are you going to the gym?"
Oh, he's one of these health nuts things?
No, he doesn't want her to gain weight.
No, but usually there's a reason for it. There's either he's one of these health nuts, he works out all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's just,
I don't know.
Is it just he can't comprehend a different thing? Or is he one of these narcissistic type guys who, it's the trophy type thing, and so if she's gained weight, it looks bad on him because
she didn't really say.
Those are both problems, but they're different problems. One problem can be dealt with. You can deal with the overzealous, healthy guy. You can deal with him, right? He's just being his nature. He's not intending any harm. He's just being. That's how he reacts to things. If I gained weight, that's 10 pounds. It's the end of the world, I'm gonna have to go train for a month. Oh my God, it's just so much extra work. This is why I don't eat. This is what he's going through in his mind, right?
Yeah.
So you can have some empathy for him, right? He's over relating to you.
Yeah.
So it's a problem, but it's a vastly different problem than the guy who's viewing you as a trophy and you gaining 10 pounds of winter weight like half the freaking country is somehow a reflection of him. The second guy you want to get away from. First guy, you love him for his quirks, right? He just is what he is. Trying to change him is going to be pointless. At most you can help is the compromise, right? Where he understands that it's me. I'm good. I'll get this my own way.
Thank you for your concern.
Yeah,
I'm not going to the gym with you every day.
No, I'll get it. I'll stop eating the extra, I'll stop the extra Starbucks for a couple weeks and lose my 10 pounds, whatever it is. And you're 23, you'll lose the 10 pounds. But here's the thing. A couple more years, that 10 pounds won't go away.
Yeah.
So be careful moving forward, because he does have a point in that particular area. Just because, it doesn't go away.
You're going to get a little tummy.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now we enter the adult section.
Okay.
Is affection with expectations different? Her husband can't, she wants to cuddle,
Uh-huh.
and he says she's being a tease.
Well, here's the thing with cuddling. You are essentially asking our bodily functions to not work the way they are designed to work.
Mm,
Now, should we be able to ignore them? I suppose yes.
you suppose? You most definitely should.
Yes, but there are parts of these things that neither one of us could ignore. If you're sitting there cuddling and we have a perfectly natural bodily reaction to that process, and we are ignoring it up here, but Mr. Happy down there cannot ignore it by himself. So he's going to sit there all waiting for Mr. Happy to be. Now you guys are mad because Mr. Happy has got his mind of its own. I'm perfectly happy to ignore Mr. Happy, but Mr. Happy, but you're not perfectly.
No. Women who know who are realistic,
Yes.
who understand that process because we're experienced. This has happened before. We still I don't get mad. Lots of mature women do not get mad when that happens, but we expect you to just continue cuddling. We're going to ignore it. You're going to ignore it. We're going to have a cuddle time.
Yes, and you guys want to cuddle far longer than we can.
Oh.
Because you guys forget. You guys are laying on our arms are dead. Can't feel it anymore. And you guys, do I even have it? Am I going to have to amputate this thing?
We have it hostage.
And I try to move it, I guess get some circulation back in there. No, you're not allowed. Oh, for sake. It's not nearly as comfortable for us half the time as it is for you. And we're willing to sacrifice for a while, right? But and the older we get, the problem is the less that sacrifice we can physically make.
No, I'm also realistic.
And also, but the perverse side of that is the younger we get, the less psychologically we're able to deal with that.
I'm also realistic. If a massage is involved between a mated couple, it's going to have a happy ending. Well, it's just gonna, if you want a massage without a happy ending, then you go pay a professional.
Well, this is one of these things. Both of these things can be true at the same time. Right? There is to expect natural human reactions to be completely ignored when you know the person likes you. It's kind of unrealistic.
You're gonna have normal reactions.
But at the same time, you should be able to ignore those to a point.
Yes.
The question is, where's that point? Right? It's how long before, does my arm have to fall off before we disengage from this thing? Or
see, we're good for an hour.
See, that's too long. I can't lay in one position for an hour by myself.
Well, until the movie is over.
Yeah, but then you guys will pick like Pride and Prejudice or one of these 3-hour movies or something.
Gone with the Wind.
Can't watch an 87 3-hour comedy. No. Okay, so do we even answer this question?
I think we were very thorough in answering that question.
Yeah. Compromise is the answer to that question.
It really is. Yeah. Okay, how do male porn actors manage to thrust so fast and do it with so much force? Okay, this is a male. He's 20, and he could only do it for 20 minutes. And he is just very disappointed in himself.
It's all the wonders of editing.
What,
do you think those things actually last that long?
45 minutes.
No.
I thought it was drugs.
Well, there's some of that too, but wonders of editing,
Huh.
especially when you're doing close-ups. You can show the same close-up. You got 3 different camera angles. You show the same thing 4 or 5 different times. Go back to a different cut.
Huh.
Just the way you make any other movie.
Huh.
So wonders of editing. Yeah,
Huh.
editing's a wonderful thing.
Huh.
Speed it up a hair, slow it down a little bit. You know, there's all kinds of things you can do. Take the same shot, but zoom in a hair, zoom out, you think it's a different one. You go to a non-genital shot for a little bit and come back. How long were they really there? You don't know, but it's an illusion. So just enjoy the illusion and don't worry about it so much. It's a movie for people, for Christ's sake, people. It's just like any other movie. It's not really real. It's a simulation of reality. It's not reality. It's designed to look good on camera. It's not designed to take home to your bedroom.
Yeah. That's why I have come to hate porn, because they give men a realistic, unrealistic image of what a penis size actually should be.
Well, I think everybody forget. There's no reason to hate or anything. It's just like any other piece of media content, including us here.
Yeah.
Right. It's designed for entertainment, and that particular entertainment needs to look good on camera. Needs to look good on a screen, and so because of that, certain things, certain positions, certain sizes, etc., look better than others. They're just simply more attractive than others. The contrast looks better on camera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's like the WWD. It's not real. It's like professional wrestling. It's not real. It's a great stunt show, and it kind of simulates reality, but it's not really real.
No. Think this is what people are doing everywhere? No.
Well, they are, but not quite.
Not quite. No, only for 20 minutes.
They are, but they're not quite. They're not professionals. They don't use the numbing creams, and they don't use the throat sprays, and they don't have the multiple camera angles, and they don't do a 2-day shoot, and it's
have fluff girls.
Yeah, none of these. Yeah, exactly. So it's just. It's like watching a James Bond flick, right? It's not real, people. Enjoy it for what it is, but it's not reality. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do people actually do after sex care routines, or is that just TikTok talking?
Well, yes, people do aftercare, especially when you're talking about I don't want to even call it more extreme. That's probably not the right word.
BDSM.
Well, yeah, but there's other things. We'll call it the more physical relations, adult relations. Those
a little more extreme.
I suppose emotional extreme relations can fit in there too.
Oh yeah.
Where
we just put a name to something that women had been maneuvering to get for a long time, and y'all respond before for a good 5 minutes before you roll over and go to sleep.
Hey man, we can't beat nature. There's got to be a reason for that. There has to be an evolutionary reason for that. Don't know what it is. I'm not smart enough, but there's got to be.
Yeah, you're like a rabbit. You hammer and then you just fall off.
Yes, but why? Other creatures don't do that. It's
Rabbits do.
there's got to be some, yes, but there's got to be some benefit somewhere to something. I, I don't know what it would be or what it is. You have to talk to evolutionary biologists or
It's one
something.
of nature's cruel jokes. We only get 5 minutes.
But maybe you don't want 5 minutes. Maybe you want them rolling over and passing out so you can run out the cave and get back to your tribe. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious as to what the evolutionary reasoning for it is.
I'm curious too.
Or is it just the evolutionary roll of dice and it just came out that way because it did?
You know, now that's something I can ask my chat GPT.
I bet you they don't know. But it'll make something up.
Yeah.
It'll sound good.
It'll sound good. I'll let you know.
I can do that though. You don't need chat GPT for that. You got me. I just came up with one off the top of my head. Give me some time. I can think of something that sounds better. And that's pretty plausible. You know, for a first guess, that wasn't unplausible. All right.
All right. Okay, last question. How to be there for your partner as she reconnects with her sexuality and handle your own frustration. Okay, she just left a BDSM relationship
Okay.
because she saw, it just wasn't healthy for her emotionally and spiritually. And she's trying to reprogram her body to respond to these softer physical attentions. And while she does find them enjoyable, they're not these high intensity stuff that she's used to. So it's taking her time. It takes her time to get in the mood, and to get there, to achieve orgasm. It takes her a while, and he's just frustrated.
Yeah. Well, once she's going to have to separate the two, and he may too have to separate her orgasm as the goal, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
The goal is to enjoy the experience regardless of the orgasm anyway.
Well, shouldn't that be said for all?
Well, I don't know. If you're trying to have a baby, is enjoying those couples who are
okay.
is enjoying it. Now, enjoying it gives you a better chance. So there's that.
Yeah.
But not always. It's the answer to that question. But theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll grant it to you theoretically. But enjoy has a wide meaning.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that to is what it is. But here's what you do. Is you do the same thing that gets you through anything like this is you communicate with those awkward conversations and you just kind of deal with it because she's going to need that so she feels comfortable in dealing with her own.
Yeah.
And so she feels comfortable because she probably frustrates her too. I would be my guess. So
yeah,
relieving the stress of that as the goal for both of you may actually help.
Yeah.
Because if that's no longer the goal, then it's sometimes easier for it to come because that's not, sometimes when you're not looking, it's when it arrives, it's like the watch pot never boils, so don't watch it.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about it. And see what happens. Just let nature take its course. Time is what you're going to need here. Time and communication is all there's no secret sauce on this one.
Yeah. It'll take some time. That'll be well worth the effort.
Yeah. Just manage your expectations, take some time and talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that's really all that one is. All right, that wraps up our deep dive into the wonderfully complicated world of human connections. If nothing else tonight proves that anyone is trying that Everyone is trying to be their best with the tools they have, even when those tools are questionable. Like, comment, subscribe, share your support helps the show grow and reach more people who need a little late night clarity, except for me reading script. From me and Lovey, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Look at that. All right. So thank you. That's it. We're at the end of the live stream. So thank you for spending the night here with me and Lubby here on Late Night Love. If the night's stories made you think, made you laugh, or made you feel a little less alone, that's the whole point. Be gentle with yourselves. Be honest with the people you love. And remember, clarity is kindness. Till the next time, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.